content warnings for mentions of SA and grape, misogynistic language, and basically predatory behavior. Hi, I'm not disturbed. While my other videos were mostly lighthearted, this one is not going to be, as you can assume from the content warnings. We're going to be getting into some really dark stuff here. I want to talk about the Nightmare Beginning universe, or more specifically, Sark. Now, I didn't know too much about him, given that I'm not in the fandom specifically, but I came across it via the Sonic EXE wiki. It came to my attention that Sark literally, has victims. The creator does not even try to hide this, given that in his list of hobbies on the villains wiki, one of his hobbies is having sex with his female soldiers. That's one of them, and the other being obviously killing people. As far as I'm aware, the current owner of Sonic.exe, Joe Doughboy, and the owner of Xenofans, Shay, and also Devi have expressed disgust with the character entirely, given how the original creator of Sonic.exe behaved online. Thank God we deplatformed him. Now, I've also read that the way that Sark treats women, specifically Rosie and Cream, which could be borderline misogynistic, is for shock value. And we all know there are other ways to cause shock, and this is not it. Someone please check his flash drive, or his hard drive, something. But I'm not accusing anyone of anything, so don't come at me. The controversies surrounding Sark have also been referenced in games, with rumors about Sark being a predator by the character Richard. Humorously enough, he's referred to as Diddy 2.0 on his own wiki, so even his... And unfortunately, with Sark's Scream, or she's better known as Scream, she's very much unlike her usual self, which is like innocent and playful. In this iteration of Nightmare Beginning, she is depicted having more sexual feelings towards Sark, So, according to her wiki, her mother grew selfish after the demonetization, attempting to sell Cream to Tails and Knuckles. But again, Sark killed Cream before that could even happen. Luckily or not. The wiki says luckily. Can't imagine someone actually thinking that's lucky. So, back to what I was saying before, Cream was kind and fair and very nice, and was easily scared or worried. But due to the way Sark demonizes his victims, Cream is reckless, doesn't care who she hurts, and just overall rude. So a complete flop of her personality, which would make sense in a way, I guess. She's also been known to be jealous of Sally because Sark gives her more attention. So basically, she just needs attention from Sark in general and gets jealous of anyone who has that attention, male or female. It doesn't matter who. She won't like anyone. So, her mental stability is also very low, meaning that she's very vulnerable. According to the wiki, according to Nightmare Beginning in general, and the wiki that I'm going off of for the video, she was begging Sark not to force her to kill Cream. Jeez, oh my god. Before sobbing, she was forced subbing after she was forced to, after seeing a Chow, which led her to showing the Chow mercy. So elements of herself still remain, but my problem with her is the way she is towards Sark. Now, she's depicted as 18 in this version of Sonic.exe, but it's still rather concerning given she looks like a 6-year-old. I have no words there. So, I want to discuss the relationship between Sark and Cream and why that's just straight up not okay. As the wiki that I'm going off says that there's master and servant. Obviously, the game basically states that for us, loud and clear. Sark appreciates Cream's honesty, and Cream has a crush on him and acts nicely towards him to get attention. So her feelings for Sark can extend to concern and admiration for he showed mercy to Rusty's son. No clue who that is, by the way. I don't play this game. Even though Sark treats her harshly. So, Stockholm Syndrome much, in a way? I'm not even sure.
Editing not disturbed here. Sorry for the background noise. My roof was getting fixed when I recorded that first bit. Now back to the video.
Again, reading off of her wiki, it says her Cream's love of her master comes from him inadvertently helping her when he murdered Vanilla and gave Vanilla advice on how to survive. As such, she feels a high amount of gratitude. She still killed your mom. He still killed your mom, though. So I don't see it. So in some parts of the game, I guess, it shows, some of the parts of the game, she shows concern. I would hate seeing him upset. I mean, granted, I feel like it still screams Stockholm Syndrome, though. It screams Stockholm Syndrome. Before y'all go, aren't you just throwing this term around? No, I actually know the definition of it, by the way. But it's just screaming. It's just screaming that to me, honestly. The relationship between Cream and Sally. I'm just gonna briefly brush over this. Cream's jealous of Sally. She gets attention from Sark and has even gone as far to attack her. Amy Rose! Again, skimming over this because Amy Rose is about to have her whole own section. They're co-workers. Cream considers Amy to be useless. She's often rude to her and suggests even killing her to Sark. It's unknown how Amy actually feels about Cream, though. Though it's suggested that Cream is less aggressive with Amy, given that she doesn't want Sark's attention, unlike the other Sark girls. So that's something. Now I want to talk about Amy Rose. Sark's Amy Rose, to be exact. Not the other Amy Rose that's in Nightmare Beginning. But this Amy Rose specifically due to the fact that she's literally tortured the most here. This is the part where I'm going to add the trigger warnings for mentions of grape, and I can't say that on YouTube. And overall violent themes. So let's get a look at it. So based off of her wiki, in the past she was friends with Cream and Sally, had a big crush on Sonic, just like her canon counterpart. But when Sark came to their dimension, he not only killed and possessed the Sonic in that dimension, but managed to demonize most of its inhabitants living there. Amy was killed when she was lured out by Sark and torn apart by Cream and Sally. Sark then began to use them as his servants. So Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman were killed off by the girls as a result of disobeying. She's often considered useless by Sark and was constantly bullied and tortured. Her personality didn't change due to a fault during the demonization. Sark often threw her in the basement, giving her slobs of food, sexually assaulting her, tormenting her, and often called her useless. Oddly enough, she still saw some of her Sonic in him and stayed loyal to him. Stockholm Syndrome! I'm sorry, I'm gonna be using that word a lot. Stockholm Syndrome. Please. So, the difference between her past self and her demonization is nothing. There is no difference. Absolutely none. Except the fact that she's willing to stay loyal to some abusive asshole. Yeah. That's what I'm calling Sark here, an abusive asshole. I hope you go to hell. But the only difference between the past Nightmare Beginning Amy and Sega's Amy is that Amy wasn't all that confident and didn't pursue Sonic due to Sally being a more confident candidate as Sonic's girlfriend. As a demonized, she was often seen as timid and helpless due to the abuse from Sark. She would cry very easily. She still believed that there was still some semblance of the Sonic she loved inside of Sark, though that was before she met Exterior. Which, by the way, Exterior is a much better character in this universe. He's a lot nicer. Despite being a fucking demon, he's still nicer. Probably gonna get demonetized for the 2 swear words. So, her relationship with Sark. Sark and Amy Rose are master and servant, given the game. But because Sark does not like Amy, he often torments her or abuses her, both sexually and physically. She's not as violent as Sally or Cream. So, because of that, she's often seen as useless. You're going to hear the word useless a lot in this. She still oddly remains loyal to Sark despite the fucking abuse that she has to torment from him. Why would you stay? Amy, why would you stay? Get out. She's afraid of him but doesn't hate him.
Okay, so I'm going to keep this section short since Sally isn't really much of my problem here. That's not what I'm worried about. Not much is... See, when doing my research for the video, not much was coming up for her. So I kind of winged it, using the wiki as a reference, but it doesn't... The only problem is it doesn't mention Sark mistreating her. She's said to have feelings for Sark, but it never once says that he's mistreated her. So, I guess that's a plus. Though I'm not even sure what to think at this point anymore, given how most of the stuff in the game is for shock factor anymore. But that's my thoughts. So to summarize the entire video here, Nightmare Beginning is not as good as we all originally thought. It's not as great as games similar to it like Spirits of Hell, which in my opinion is a lot better. Though nowadays we have better fan games that are unfortunately been taken down by Sega. Sonic EXE, the disaster. So given that we could probably just forget this game entirely, or you probably didn't even know what this was until I brought it up. But it's been pretty infamous in the community for as long as I can remember. I feel that not enough people are shedding light on this. So, I thank you for watching. Hope you tune in next time. Bye for now!